Here I'm at the Henry Ford Museum of Innovation. So here's the ticket here. It was $69. It was $9 for parking, and it did the combo museum and Greenfield Village. So I saved a few bucks that way. It's really cool down this hallway, all the lights. So actually I changed my plans. I'm actually going to do the museum first. And the museum entrance is this way. You can kind of see it right there. And then I'm going to do the actual village after, because that way I'll make sure I have enough time. So here's coming into the museum. So they have cars over here. Looks like they got a plane over here. Lincoln stuff. So I think I'm gonna start actually over here to the left. So here's the presidential cars. This is actually pretty cool. It's actually right up in front too. So railroads are this way as well. Driven to Win is to the left. Miniature Moments and Collections. The bubble top here was used by Harry Truman, Eisenhower, John F. Kay until his car was completed in 1961, and Lyndon B. Johnson as a spare. Here's all the presidential cars that they have. And it starts with Reagan's car here. I'll make it so you guys can pause it if you want to see it. So the Reagan car was used by Nixon, Ford, Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, and George W. Bush. These are their actual cars, which is pretty cool. They're not replicas. Presidential seal there. It's neat how the Secret Service, they have the, they can jump up on the bumper there. A holding rail that pops up out. So here's the Kennedy car. And the weird thing was it was used from 1961 to 1977. The Kennedy car was used by JFK, Lyndon B. Johnson, Nixon, Gerald Ford, and Jimmy Carter. And this is the car where he was assassinated in November 1963, but they still used it after. Now this one has the roof on it, and this is the exact car, but after that they actually put the roof on it. I believe it's retractable. See the handrails there, and where they jump up on the bumper. So I guess the same car was used through Nixon and Ford as well. It's a little bit better view of it from the front. They do have Moldoramas here. They have the JFK car, Eisenhower's car from 1950 to 1967. See there, picture of them with it. So, oh, actually they have it all down here. Used by Harry Truman, Eisenhower, JFK until 1961. Lyndon B. Johnson as a spare. This is a bubble top. Oh yeah, the whole back's a bubble. Kind of see down and around there. Here's Franklin D. Roosevelt's car, used from 1939 to 1950. I believe this is the first one there ever was, and this was used by Roosevelt and Harry Truman. There's a picture of them with it. Look at the big white wall tires. This one actually looks more presidential than the first two, Reagan's and JFK. I don't know why it says police on the back. Hopefully you can see in there. Get this one in the front too. This one was a Lincoln. Pretty cool old clock there. That's a clock exhibit. You can go through this really fast. Sundials. Hourglasses. Wow, look at how big those watches, or pocket watches were. Or carriage watches. Tall clock. I thought it was a grandfather clock. It's a tall clock. Timeless tower clocks. Oh, the huge weight down there. All the different clocks through the ages. These are all the different shelf clocks. All these are before the 1900. So these were when they started moving to quartz and electric clocks. The old bedroom clock up there. So if you press the button down here, you can actually have it start and stop whenever you want it to. Railroad times. Kitchen clocks, more shelf clocks, statue clocks. Up cuckoo and quail clock. Oh, the quail's on the top. These are more shelf clocks. I don't know who Pillar and Scroll are, but they must have been big into clock making. The Driving in America exhibit here. We saw the cars through the times. Oh, enter this way. Oh, that's, they have a diner actually in the middle that actually serves food. I want to go up and see the diner. I just ate, so. It's the old diner car. Here's going through the diner car. This is really cool. You cut exactly through it. You gotta watch your step at the end. Well, that's really cool. And they have the old neon signs. Oh, this is a Howard Johnson sign for the restaurant. The neon McDonald sign. It's actually pretty cool with the old, I think it's a Bel Air. Yep, Chevy Bel Air convertible. They have some of the McDonald's packaging, including supersize there. Here's some big boy stuff. It's really cool. It's a piano box buggy. Still horse-drawn, so not motorized. Look at this old crosstown trolley. Horse-drawn streetcar. Crosstown line. Wow, look at this old hotel buggy. All the details. Pittman Brothers. So the metal steers to get up. So these are the choices before cars. And you get into the cars here. Boy, look at this Plymouth. Here's a self-driving car today. This says it's an Eldorado. It's an Eldorado convertible. Get a better side profile here. Boy, it's white on white. Wheels are even a lot different. Braking's kind of the same as today. From carriages to cars, self-propelled car. You can see the exhaust down there. Wooden wheels. Looks like a seat for one only. Oh, and there's a gas tank. So the 1896 Ford quad cycle runabout. So Henry Ford invented this car. It's so small. It almost looks like two bikes next to each other, kind of attached. Our 1896 Derriere runabout. I don't know if that's this one. License plates. Originally, anyone could pay a fee could get a license. So now we're in the 1890s here. 1903 Oldsmobile runabout. Which I believe is this one right here. And this one ran on steam, it looks like. There's some more of the cars through the years.
This company makes reproduction tires. What? The company that makes reproduction tires.
Beginning of racing. That's the most famous car by Ford. In the beginning, the Model T. There was a lot of cars before it, the Model N and all different ones. So this was 1909. Here's a 1924 Chrysler. This was the first one to add hydraulic brakes. That's the diner behind me. Here's a 1924 Essex coach sedan. It's an all-season car. Like the Model T back here, didn't have glass windows. It was all open. Ford V8. So that's around the time they started focusing more on speed and power. It's a V8. Compared to a current car, much simpler. 1937 LaSalle Coupe up there. 1943 Willys Overland Jeep. Reminds me of the MASH vehicle. Drive around in. Here's the old Kodak Brownie camera. Just talk about all the different things once people started getting out and about. Taking pictures of everywhere they went. And 1949 Ford sedan. And a VW Beetle back there. So this place is actually really huge. I'm still in the car exhibit area. And I'm probably halfway through that. I'm up to 1950s cars now. Chevy hardtop. There's a Chevy Corvair, 1960. This is a 1966 Toyota Corona. And here's a Mercury Cougar. These I do remember. Here's a 1973 Chrysler Newport sedan. Here's a Dodge Omni from 1978. That's when the cars got really small with the energy crisis of 72. Then they just continued it on through. 1991 Ford Bronco. Garage door opener. CD players. It's a 1989 Honda Accord. I remember those little pop-up lights. Here's one of the first GPSs, one of the first bag phones. 1998 Dodge Ram Quad Cab and Toyota Prius in 2002. So we continue on now, still in the car eras. That's a 1932 Ford V8. 1930 Ford Model A. I don't know if it had windows or not. I can't really tell. With the detail in the grille, old white wall tires. Actually, those tires are all white. This is a 1914 Model T touring car. 1904 Model S Roadster. Look at this little single seat in the back. This big one is a Ford Model B touring car. On December 24th, 1893, Henry Ford carried out his first experimental engine made from scrap metal in the kitchen sink. Pretty amazing. That was 1893. And then by 1903, you have the Ford Model A. Some prototype cars. This is the 2010 Edson 2. This is a 1962 Mustang Roadster. Oh, concept car. I was gonna say this. I don't think this was ever a car, but yeah, this is a concept car. These are just models of some concept cars. This is a Lexus concept car. This is Driven to Win, sponsored by General Motors. Chevy Camaro ZL1LE, factory built race car. This is a 1988 Penske Chevy team. Indy cars. They do have a racing simulator here. You can watch what they're doing up there. Actually, this car is Buck Baker's car. It was a NASCAR. Early NASCAR. Here's a 1965 Indy 500 car. Lotus car powered by Ford. AJ Foyt wins the Hoosier 100, 1960. Steering wheel's huge on that. It's a 1967 Le Mans car. They have those distinct lights. Look at the air dam on that thing. (1906) Locomobile Old 16. The first American winner of the first Great American Race. Lewis Chevrolet. Oh look, it's actually chain driven. Big gas tank. Steering wheel on the left. Ford Sweepstakes. Must have been a racing competition. Ford Galaxy racing car. Pretty much stripped on the inside. Chevy Cobalt SS. Pretty cool neon sign though. 1902 Ford 999. Trying to get some of the placards, so if you want to pause and read them. Tether cars. I don't know if this is a type of slot racing. Oh, they are gasoline-powered cars. A little exhibit here. Well, that's pretty cool. Thank you. Oh, it actually even has the times.
Very cool.
This talks about the salt flats in Utah. Boy, those cars, look at them. They're a lot longer than I thought they were. Not as aerodynamic. Well, I guess they are. They are like a bullet at the front. There's another one of the first ones. Some more race cars. Al Unser, or Bobby Unser. Sometimes innovations fail. The steering box failed. March 84C Crossworth. 1984. It's kind of cool here is wherever you look, like they'll have the bricks. Where those are obviously new, but they actually do have an Indy brick. Which they still have at the finish line. Is done in brick. That's kind of cool. It shows the Indy cars when they crash. How the actual driver's area stays pretty much intact and the rest of the car just pretty much shatters into pieces. Chevy Corvette CR5 Racing Edition. Here it talks about the pit stops where everybody stands on the, there's not the dots, but they know where to stand. I think this is a simulation you can do. It's not open right now. Oh, open today. So it'll be, oh, it just closed. So it'll be opening up at 2 to 3:15. Bill France Sr., inventor of NASCAR. Trevor Bain. 2011 Ford Fusion. Daytona's youngest winner. Here's the drag strip cars. This is some old postcards and pictures from early road trips. The doghouse, I think it's Portillo's. Let's talk about hitting the highways. 1903 Packard. This is what we're talking when people started going across country on road trips. Obviously the roads weren't paved. So this is a 1919 Ford Model T sedan. This one actually has windows. 1956 Ford Thunderbird. A little port window. See if I can zoom in on the interior there. Here's the front of that car. Talks about early camping. First pop-up tents. Then moving to the Airstreams. This is a 1949 Airstream. This is a 1959 Volkswagen Westfalen camper. So it was actually a VW van that actually had a camper kind of built in. Probably first one marketed as camping. Talks about the roadside lodging. Oh, look at these little rooms. Man, pretty much just a heater, a bed. So here's the exterior of the building. You just pull your car next to it. Different things for road trips. Look at the old credit cards. Diners Club. iPods. Different cameras. Different clocks, tour books. Different stuff you'd find in hotel rooms, postcards. Talk about chain lodging. Holiday Inn Great Sign, 1952 to 82. Boy, I remember these. I think the top used to not spin, but they pulse around the lights. And here you get a look at the Holiday Inn room. Just looking in the Holiday Inn room. This is a big upgrade from the first one. Which didn't even have a bathroom. Here's some different alternatives to cars. Bikes, folding bikes, motorcycle, Segway. There's an old New York cab. Well, this big Texaco truck. Wow, that's really cool. They have a replica of a Texaco station. Hope you can see without a glare. And then you had the bay door to work on the cars. Here's the other side of the Texaco truck, but here's the actual, here's the Texaco gas pumps. Even has the island. These are two really old filling station pumps from 1915. This one they were testing which lights would work the best as traffic lights. So it goes between forward, caution. Okay, I guess it was manual to do it. Now it's on caution. Here's how the baby seats have evolved, or child seats. 1957 safety car. '84 Plymouth Voyager. We're coming up on the train section. That's what you're hearing in the background. 1950 Plymouth Deluxe Suburban. I mean, it's big, but it looks nothing as big like the new cars, or the new trucks are. Overland Model 90B from 1918. Oh. 1904 Packard Model L. Look at the horn. Oh, it's actually an air horn. Like you just squeezed it, like a... little basket instead of a trunk. Again, no windows. Here's a couple coupes. DeSoto Fireflight, 1957. So this concludes the auto portion of the museum tour. Now we're going to move on to the trains, which are over here. See that massive locomotive. Very early on locomotive engine. DeWitt Clinton, 1831. Look, they even had a seat up there. The coupling wasn't much. I'm sure it was more than that, but Here's inside a stagecoach. Hopefully the camera can pick that up. I don't know if that was for feet or for, it's like an ottoman almost. Whole bunch of stagecoaches. Predecessor to the, well, I guess they were both at the same time, but stagecoaches were first. Look at this powered engine, the rocket. Look at the pistons on this thing. Here's the old steam engines. Sam Hill. I don't think you can see up in there. Atlantic and Gulf Railroad. Little train cars here. Bingo and Aroostook. Some of these you can actually walk up and see inside. Back side of it, let's go take a look inside. Oh, that's really restored. Trying to block the glare. This is a 1923 Canadian Pacific snowplow. Tower's up maybe 12 feet. I guess just a regular locomotive pushes it. There's a room for somebody, an engineer up there, and just plow through the snow and keep the rails cleared. And then it was pushed by this. Number 154. It's a huge locomotive too. Wheels are probably 5.5 feet, at least 5 in diameter. See all the inner workings. Now, I believe in the village they actually have a old railroad turntable that actually works too, where they can actually have the trains pull them in and out. Here's some more train cars. Detroit and Mackinac. This is part passenger and it actually has luggage up here. This part passenger car, part luggage car. It's kind of neat. And here you have an old caboose. Number 77. Built by Standard Steel Car Company. It's an old produce car. Oh, this one's refrigerated. Ventilated and refrigerated. This is a huge Chesapeake and Ohio engine. Go up there and take a look at this one. Here's an overview. This is just one small section of it. Now we can actually go in here. This is a tender, and then this is the actual engine. So the tender would be right here. They do have plexiglass. You can see there. All the coal would be there, and it would actually push through here. And this is the actual cab. Imagine how hot this must have been. And then for a second engineer, and there's the firebox. So this is the Allegheny, a 1941 Allegheny. Oh no, this compares to the big boy. Look at all that raw power. I think it's massive. Here's the front of it. Go from real life and model engines here to a model railroad. I think they have all the different gauges, Lionel, HO, N. Little trolley there. Well, that train's cruising. Oh, look, they got a point of view. I think it was that one right there. Let's see. No, maybe it's delayed a little bit. A little Thomas display. Here's a few streetcars. Fort Collins Municipal Railway. Seems like everybody had a little transit system with trolleys. That was before cars too, so it's the only way to get around. Higher end cars, Bugattis. Duesenberg, the 1948 Tucker, 1958 Etzel, 1914 electric model 47. Actually, I have a comment here that Henry Ford's wife drove this electric car because you didn't have to deal with the hand crank, which I guess could break your arm if you did it the wrong way. With the kickback. 1954 Federal 45M truck tractor. Here's a semi-trailer. Here's the 1975 RV for on the road with CBS. It's on the air for 27 years. So they use touring all over the country for the series. So now I'm going into the aviation area of the museum. And you can see kind of above me here is a DC-3 hanging from the ceiling. So now I'm in the airplane exhibit. Plane used for the Antarctic expedition. Wright Whirlwind engines. Actually landed on skis. Arctic expedition airplane. This talks about air acrobats. Flying high over the fair. Here's a map of all the airplane section. And if you go upstairs here, you can see them from above, which would probably be easier. Oh, there's that one again. Talks about plane racing. I don't know if you can see down there. It's talking about aerodynamics. They're showing aerodynamics. It's a neat perspective from up here. Here's a replica of the Wright brothers plane. The Wright brothers plane again. Here's the Douglas DC-3 hanging from the ceiling. It's actually pretty cool. There's the DC-3. Floyd Bennett. The Tin Goose. Boy, it's actually like a Ford-built plane. It's cool how they have it staged. Not that they'd ever spark it up, but just like you were actually there. Old windows. Luggage. The Ford Tri-Motor airplane has been designated a National Historical Development for the American Society of Metals. Ford Tri-Motor. Looks like you're going onto a plane. So here's on a propeller plane. See, the seats were just wicker tied down. So it's like you're actually back in that time, flying over the countryside. Lights. It's amazing the detail in this place. So there's a Boeing 40, 1927. Seats were pretty small. Kind of the biplane type planes. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Oh, it's kind of cool because out the window, like you're on the old DC-3, you'd see the propeller going as the scenery changes. It's pretty cool. Let's see what's on this side. Oh, this is a modern airplane. See the jet engine there. You can hear the sound. It sounds just like a plane. That's really cool because you can kind of experience all the different planes that obviously aren't flying anymore unless it's a special historical thing. There's a big Ford plane. 1926 Ford Flivver. So here's walking under the DC-3 that we saw from above. See the landing gear there? Belly of the plane. And up to the tail. This is the Abraham Lincoln exhibit, which they have actually the chair from the theater as well as some of the other stuff. Rosa Parks' bus, and I forgot a couple other things. There's Abraham Lincoln right there. Oh, this is a replica. The original statue was in Lincoln Park, Chicago. Talks about the Boston Massacre. Common sense for America. History of the United States. It's a copy of the Declaration of Independence. Here's signatures of famous people. John Adams. Lincoln. I don't know all of them. John Hancock. Talks about Washington. I don't know if this is supposed to be a replica of his when he was in the war. Supreme Court speaker chair from 1790 to 1795. Punch bowl. Constitution of the United States. Smaller version. For an artifacts from Washington. Here's a timeline of Lincoln's journey. Here's the actual chair that Lincoln was in when he was actually shot. This whole area here that deals with furniture from all the different eras. I won't have time to go through this because I want to do the village outside too. Just to give you an idea of some of the stuff that's here in addition. This is Henry Ford's violin collection. Here's the original Wienermobile. 1952. Here's some of the stuff they'd give out. I actually remember that, the whistle. Here's one of the many cafes and restaurants that they have. Oh, actually, I'm parked way out there, so I know exactly where I am now. Beach Aircraft Home, Dymaxion Home, which is right here. But look inside, so it's a big circular house.
Back in 1929, he unveiled his model of the Dymaxion House.
1,017 square feet. Kind of see the layout there. Dining room. Metal bathrooms. Air ventilation system. Modern kitchen. Revolving closets. And 2 bedrooms.
Of our Dymaxion House. And actually, this is the best vantage point to see this room because it's the only room we do not walk inside of. The house was actually designed in 1928 by Buckminster Fuller. And he set the design aside until 1946. In 1946, we had millions of soldiers coming home after World War II, and everybody was scrambling to build housing because we hadn't built any houses since 1941. So this was one man's idea of mass-producing housing very quickly. It could go up on site in a matter of days. So he went to Beach Aircraft in Wichita, had 2 prototypes handmade in the factory. People went into the factory to see if they wanted to purchase this house or not. It was $6,500 and only had 1 bathroom. This has 2. And it's totally opposite of what we live in. We live in compression housing. This is an air freight dwelling, lightweight. It only weighs about 3.5 tons. And it is totally portable. You can take it apart, ship it, and rebuild it. To mass produce these, they could not get the money. You're looking at a house made out of aluminum, plexiglass, and stainless steel. You have in the middle of the room a ventilator that recycles the air on the interior around every 6 or 7 minutes. The breaks in the rooftop allow rainwater to come inside. There's a gutter system above the windows. From there, it goes into a cistern below ground, non-potable rainwater. As you look into this room, you'll see smooth surfaces, rounded corners. That was for ease of maintenance. He wanted the people living here not to have to spend all their time cleaning the house, but to live their lives. The aluminum structure in the middle is actually a gas fireplace. That was for an additional $125 in 1946. Now, these walls are non-load bearing, so you can move them. You can adjust your room sizes. He was hoping that the people living in the house would be able to push the walls back at a third wall, create a third bedroom so the house could grow with the family. Got mast in the middle, and they're locking the cement around the perimeter. So the house can withstand winds of 125 miles an hour. We're going to be walking inside into the front bedroom right down here, and as we pass by the foyer, take a look at a closet on your right-hand side. It's called a revolving closet.
Rainwater drains down there.
When you talk two, two. Yeah.
Here's a revolving closet.
So the people wanted it, but they couldn't get it financially.
Yes, they could not get the money to retool the factory to actually build. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. So each bedroom would have one of those revolving closets that you just saw, but also one of these revolving shelving units built into the wall. There's 8 shelves behind this wall. It's on a motor, so you press a button and it goes out to your next shelf in the unit. He designed everything in as much as possible. He was a minimalist, so you build it in. You don't have to have a dresser. He designed a lighting system called mood lighting. This is our cool mood. This one is our warm mood.
You like it?
I like it.
You can do that with LED lighting.
It's revolving shelves.
This is funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
Shelving unit, so you see all those shelves in that unit? Yeah, and then we took the bathroom out, so you're looking into the middle of the house. All those bundled steel rods make up the mast that supports the house. If that mast wasn't here, the house would fall down. So it goes down into the cement and up into the middle of the ventilator. You see all those wires, those rods? Those are tension wires. They are helping to support the house. That's why the house can withstand high winds.
Kind of like a tent.
Yes, exactly like a tent. Up above, we took our ceiling out. That's called a vapor barrier. It's made out of aluminum, and it captures the moisture out the roof. All those tubes up there, they're bringing in rainwater. And the rainwater goes into this gutter system above the windows. This ran all the way around the house. There are tubes on either side of the doors that take all that rainwater down to a tank below ground, a cistern. So you can use that later on. World War II. This material is Lumite plastic, also developed in World War II. So you have a built-in kitchen with a stainless steel countertop. You have your refrigeration and these 3 doors down below. This is your refrigerator. This is your refrigerator, all built in. Underneath here is a built-in dishwasher, and you have gas stove and oven with a built-in food line. Over here we would have our washer and dryer. If you needed more cupboard, put it all on the inside. She's got that open too. So it really did exist.
Yeah, somebody lived here.
Yes.
Here's the living room.
Any questions?
It's a fascinating house.
Yeah.
This house is really cool. Of actually being inside. Here it is on the outside. Unfortunately, couldn't get the funding for it, so only 2 prototypes were ever built. And both of them are here, and I guess they use one for parts and the other one for this actual display. But it's cool, you can kind of go through there. Just go into the village here. They have all these old TVs. Old kitchen. It talks about the Industrial Revolution. The massive machines. Oh, that goes way down. The first modern power source. Sorry I'm going through this fast. I want to get to the villages, which is the outside area, the historic town. I kind of divided my time directly in half between the two. Pumping station, generator. So this concludes the indoor museum. I only probably did 50% of it. I did the planes, cars, the older cars, the newer cars, the locomotive, which is behind me, the train section. Did the house, which was really cool with the tour. And just walked around, saw the old neon signs. So I'm gonna move on to the Greenfield Village, which is the outdoor restored villages with houses from all over the US. So thanks for watching this first video, and if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to see more content like this. Thanks for watching.